Hello and welcome to Ticket to Life. Thank you for listening. This is Henry, and I want to welcome all the new listeners. I want to thank all the people around the world who have listened to this podcast. I appreciate you more than what you would even imagine. So we are already in September, which to me is just absolutely crazy. We actually went, my daughter has moved to Kansas. A lot of you know this, but new listeners recently. So we went to visit this past week, and Kansas is just beautiful. She lives in a suburb of Kansas City. She's not in Kansas City. She's actually in Kansas, the state, not Missouri. But anyway, I'm sure you really don't care about that. But it was absolutely beautiful. There are so many trees over there. I can't even tell you. I know Texas is such a large state, but there's just trees everywhere. And it's funny how the seasons are. We actually are still very hot. We're in the hundreds here in Texas, in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And they finally reached, I think, 100 a few weeks ago. And my daughter's just used to the heat. She said no one was out. And she's always outside with the girls, my two granddaughters. And she said no one was out. And she's like, I don't know why. I guess it's too hot for some people. And it's funny when you're so used to one certain type of climate, you expect everyone to be used to it. And anyway, we went to a place, it's called Ernie Miller, I believe. It's a natural park, and it's just beautiful. We saw some deer. You just walk, take a little hike, and there's deer, and they're not scared of you, and you're not scared of them, and all sorts of, it's just beautiful. And they're already having trees change color. The trees in Texas are changing colors because they're dying because of the heat. They're not changing because it's fall. I can't believe it's already September. But yeah, so it's just funny. It was odd for us because here in Texas, our leaves probably won't even start turning until the end of September, October, and maybe by December, all the leaves will be off of trees. That it's just so different when you're in a different part of the country. But anyway, it's absolutely beautiful. We had a fantastic time. Lots to do, lots to see. But we made the mistake of actually planning this trip because we missed them dearly, and it's Labor Day. Everything was packed. So we just spent a lot of quality time at home. I don't know how many of you have ever played Mexican Trains, a domino game. So much fun. And that was just a good time for us once the girls took their down for the night. It was just really a lot of fun. And I have to admit, my son-in-law, his new title is the Kansas King of Mexican Train. I mean, he was just winning, boom, boom, but it's a lot of fun. And the other thing I wanted to mention is football season's about to start. Yay! Oh, we love football here in our home. And we have fantasy league. So my team is called Mama's Boys. I came in third place last year. I may have mentioned on another podcast. There's 10 teams, but it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. And my family has always been about playing games. So every family member and friends that are involved, it's just fun that we are all playing fantasy football against each other. It takes some strategy. You got to pay attention. And honestly, I don't still, till this day, I'm always asking question. Now, what does that mean? But it's just fun. Don't ask me how I actually have gotten in third place 2 years in a row, but I have. But I guess it's the luck of the draw or the luck of the draft. But anyway, so I'm excited tonight, Kansas City. I never thought I would wear another team jersey other than the Dallas Cowboys. So, of course, while we were there, we had to buy some Kansas City Chiefs shirts. Yeah, I hope my house doesn't get egged tonight by the Dallas fans and hear this podcast. But anyway, so we're excited. Tonight is Thursday, and yes, it is. We're excited, but this podcast will not be released until tomorrow. So hopefully it'll be a good outcome, and my defense my defensive players will do an amazing job. But anyway, I just wanted to talk about, I had briefly talked back, it was almost a year ago, I did a podcast on liars and all the different types of lies. There's white lies, red lies, black lies. And I didn't realize there were so many types of lies too. I did that podcast. But I do want to talk about liars. I hate to be lied to. I'm sure everyone hates to be lied to. I always feel like if you're going to lie, this lie better be so good that you really think this is true. Now, that's actually a sickness if you really start believing these lies. But there are some people, and they're just compulsive liars. And unfortunately, I know compulsive liars. It is like one thing after the other. They will say they did something, and you know they didn't. But my thing is, if you lied to me to my face and I know you're lying, not a good deal. Will I call you out on it? Sometimes. Now, when you call someone out on lying to you, it's kind of fun and awkward. And that sounds mean, but it is fun to watch them squirm because they know you caught them in a lie. I've had many, 65, and I've had many people in my life lie to me, although I've lied too. I used to be a pretty good liar when I was younger. No, I did not lie to protect someone from a crime or anything like that. But, as a teenager, people lie. Kids just lie. And they are taught to lie. I don't know. I thought that maybe kids just picked up and it was a natural thing, but I looked it up and kids do tend to lie. And, my granddaughter will call you out on it. If you'll say, well, let's just tell them we can't go somewhere. But that's a lie. Okay, you're right. And so when a child calls you out, okay, just tell the truth. And I have learned that being able to tell the truth is so much better. If you can't make something and you just don't want to go. Sometimes someone will ask you to do something and you'll say, yeah, I'll go. And then 2 days later, it's like, oh, why did I say I don't want to do that? I don't want to go. So this is a story, and this is what got me to want to do this podcast. This is a story about an acquaintance. I would have called her a friend at one point, but now it's more, she's just an acquaintance. And she was married, and I hate this because it's just, I don't know. I just don't know why people do this, women and men. So they lied so much that you just couldn't even believe anything. I could not believe anything that came out of her mouth. I just couldn't. And that's horrible. That's lack of trust. I couldn't trust her for anything. And so I saw her recently because I hadn't seen her in a couple of years, I guess. And I saw her, and then she starts explaining to me why she did some of the stuff she did. And I'm like, no, don't lie. You wanted out of your marriage. But calling your ex-husband all these things and making people believe that he was this brute, that's wrong. That is so wrong. And that's what I mean. People just, if you want out of a marriage or you're screwing around on them, just tell you, hey, you know what? I don't love him anymore. I found somebody else. I hope you understand. And even if I don't understand, it's really none of my business, but don't start telling people things about an ex that are not true. Because guess what? Eventually, everyone finds out. Everyone. And obviously, they're going to find out when you start posting pictures on social media. So I had another acquaintance, and she was going through, I had seen her, and she told me, oh, she was having all this stuff done, Botox, which I don't do Botox, but I have several friends that do it. Not a problem. But she was doing Botox, and she had a tummy tuck, and she was getting a lift, and she had, I guess she's had 3 or 4 kids. And when I saw her, I said, hey, you look great. And I meant that. I know sometimes we say you look great and people look like, oh, what happened to you? Were you beaten by a bat? But because their faces are swollen right afterwards. But anyway, and 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 you look great. Oh, I just needed to do this for myself. And I feel so much better. Having kids just really tore me up inside. And so I had to do this and that and that and this and blah, 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 blah. Great. That's great. Well, then within 2 months, I found out, oh, wait, she left her husband. Oh, wait, she's been having an affair. Oh, wait, her husband was paying for all this stuff. And the sad thing is, she told everyone that she was doing it for herself and doing it, she wanted to be, take care of herself. And why wouldn't I believe that? I mean, we all want to take care of ourselves. But her poor husband is paying for all this, and then all of a sudden she ups and leaves him. And he's like, what the heck? Well, he didn't know that there was someone in the picture. I don't know. And I hate to be lied to. I hate to be lied to. Again, I may tell a little white lie, like, I try not to. I don't really think I lie like that. I know that, again, when I was younger, I know I did. People would say, hey, call Doll a lie and call Henry. And I would come up with something. But I don't lie. I guess maybe it's my age. I am just more honest about things, as anyone should do. If you don't want to do something, or if you want out of a marriage, or if you want out of let's say you want to leave a job and you don't know how, but you have another, just be honest. Just be honest, because you know what? It will come back and bite you in the ass. Karma has a way of coming back and saying, surprise. So this is just a little, I guess, another vent session. I've been having some vent sessions here, but it's just, I don't like to be lied to. Tell me the truth. It may hurt my feelings. I may get upset. Like I upset someone and she didn't talk to me because, I'm very verbal and tell you what's on my mind. And then after I say it, it's like, oops, maybe I shouldn't have said that. Oh, yes, I have many faults. But friend of mine didn't talk to me for a few months and then finally found out, oh, I said something that offended her. Well, I wish she would have told me, because then you leave people hanging. Well, actually, she never told me. A friend of a friend of a friend told me what happened, and she's calmed down and she's gotten over it. But, just be honest. I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. If I say something and it may affect you or affect someone, well, hopefully not affect you listeners, but I would rather be told, hey, you know what you said? You really hurt my feelings. I remember someone hurting my feelings. I know, yes, I do have feelings, and I do get my feelings hurt too. Not too long ago, and she made a comment. So I just called her out on it. Took me about a week, but then we saw her again, and I just said, you know what you said? That really hurt my feelings. And she didn't know what to say because she knew what she said was wrong. But sometimes we say things and not realize that's going to hurt anyone's feelings. So anyway, this is just a little vent session of Henry saying, I hate liars. Don't lie to me. You shouldn't lie to anyone. And if you're having problems in a relationship, or it could be a friendship, a family member, a spouse, be honest. Trust me, you're going to feel a lot better. No, they may not be happy with what you're going to tell them, but they need to accept the fact that you're being honest. So that's pretty much my vent session on that. And I just want to remind everyone that this Sunday, let me see, what is Sunday? Sunday is Grandparents' Day. It's a National Grandparents' Day, September 10th. So, a lot of you may have parents who abandoned you or have passed away when you were young, or just couldn't take care of you and your grandparents raised you. You don't need to go buy them a lot of stuff or anything. Just make sure to call your grandparents and tell them thank you. Just tell them thank you for always loving you. Tell them thank you. And now this isn't for grandparents who only raised kids. This is for grandparents in general. Because most grandparents that I know are willing to help out, love their grandchildren. So make sure you tell your grandparents who helped you through life, thank you. just say happy Grandparents' Day. And a lot of them will say, "Oh, I didn't know there was such a day. I think it's been going on for years." I told my daughter she didn't need to do that because she's always thanking me. But anyway, so this is pretty much my little blip on lying. Oh, that's what I was going to tell you. I want to say I love you all, you wonderful listeners. So the last year I did one, it was in July of last year. I did another one on lies, like I said, and I jumped everywhere on this podcast. But there's a part, and I listened to it because I had to listen before I did this one, make sure I'm not repeating myself. But this is pretty much recent lies that I've had bestowed on me. But on here, it was Why We Lie, and it was last year on July 9th, and it was episode 25. Anyway, I just love my listeners because it has several downloads. And when I was listening to it, I'm like, wait, what did I say? So a red lie is when you make up something like gossip and and in that podcast, now everyone's going to go back and listen to it. I mentioned a red lie and I used an example and I said, well, let's say your daughter is head cheerleader and you can't stand her mother. Well, that would mean that you can't stand yourself. And in my mind, I'm sure my mind, as usual, is going 90 miles an hour. So I didn't complete what I meant to say is my daughter's a head cheerleader and I couldn't stand the other head cheerleader's mother. And I made stuff up about it. Now, that I did not do that. That was just an example. I did not do that. My daughter was a cheerleader. She was not a head cheerleader, but she did not. That was just an example. But I just thought it was funny that no one caught that or said, hey, lady, do you know what you're talking about? I don't think so because you hate yourself. But anyway, thanks for not calling me out on it. This is Henrie. Have a wonderful week. Don't lie. Tell the truth. And be sure to tell your grandparents Happy Grandparents' Day and thank them for all they do. And please go find your blessings. Until next week, this is Henrie, and have a wonderful evening or morning or afternoon, wherever you are.